Well, hello, Rocio, Josias, and Mateo. So, this is your Bible number 15, and we are continuing our story about Joseph. Now, do you remember what was our story about? Remember, Joseph was sold by his brother to people, and he was taken to jail, right? But God was able to help him to understand a dream that the Pharaoh had, right? And so the Pharaoh really liked Joseph because of that. And so he put him as a leader over many, many things. And so even though at the beginning when he was sold out, it looked like it was going to be a terrible life, God was protecting him. He was caring for him. God's providence was upon him. Okay, so let's look at our new paper. And this is Bible 15, and this is Joseph again. Joseph forgives his brothers. Joseph forgives his brother. Joseph and his brothers reunited from Genesis 42:45. All right, so let's make sure we have a pen or a marker, and let's take our fingers and look at our words that we're going to be looking for today. So we're going to be looking for the word forgive, the word grain, the word sold, the word thought, and the word turn. Forgive, grain, sold, thought, turn. Do you think you can remember all these words? All right, let's see. Let's see if Miss Sarah can. Joseph forgives his brother. Get your finger. Joseph forgives his brothers. Remember the first word was forgive. So it's right here. So we're going to circle it. Forgives. Joseph's brothers had been mean to him. See the period? Remember what we do when the period comes? We stop for a second. And look at the beginning of this sentence. It's a big T, right? All the letters at the beginning of a sentence after a dot, after a period, they're all capital letters, big letters. They sold him, here's sold. Look, this was one of our words. Sold. They sold him. That means they got money for him to be taken away. They sold him, so Joseph became a slave. Joseph became a slave. But God took care of Joseph. He helped Joseph tell the king about his dream. So the king put Joseph over all his people. Isn't that wonderful? I bet Joseph was happy to get out of that jail, don't you think? I would have been happy. Those jails were very, very hard. Very, very difficult. All right, let's look at our pictures. Do you see our pictures? What is all of this? And who are all these people? Let's find out. Get your finger. One day, Joseph's brothers came to see him. So after many, many years, the brothers came to see him. They did not know that he was Joseph. They didn't recognize him. He had changed, because do we grow and change? Yeah, and they did not recognize Joseph when they got there. Because remember, they thought Joseph was going to be a slave. So now they were talking to a leader. They were talking to somebody important, right? Joseph, put your finger right here. Joseph's brothers wanted to buy grain. Oh, here is one of our words. They wanted to buy grain. So let's circle it. Joseph sold them grain to take home. Here is grain again. Joseph sold them grain to take home. Very good. So they were hungry. They didn't have food where they were at. There was a big famine. That means the food was very scarce. Couldn't find food much. Do you remember at the beginning of the pandemic when we couldn't find toilet paper? That was the same thing. They couldn't find food. They didn't have any food. There was a famine. And so they had to go see Joseph, who had stored up grains. He had been very wise. And when there was a lot of food, he put a lot of food aside. And now he had a lot of food to be able to give to the people who did not have much food. So they came to him, not knowing he was Joseph, to ask him if he could help them and give them grain. Was Joseph mean to them? Did he say, no way, I'm not going to give you food because you sold me when I was younger to become a slave, and I'm mad at you and I'm not going to give you grain? Is that what he said? He didn't say anything. He just gave them grain. He said, you can have this grain. And, they paid him for the grain. And that was it. So Joseph was being very nice. And we'll find out the rest of the story next time. Stay tuned.